learn how to read and write. Okay. So Mary, of course, is all happy because she really believes this is going to happen. So so when she tells her that, they had to do get some money to go back to the house because they were going to go back to the grandmother's house for the first time since she was 3. So they see this. I can't remember if it was a man and a woman, but it was a family, I think, something like that. But anyway, they see these people, and it was a act that they had. Mary was very beautiful. It really shares how beautiful she was in the book. And her mom, was looking toe up to the floor because she was on drugs. So Mary was kind of like her I don't know, niche, whatever it's called, to help people, give money to them. So the people come up to her. Of course, they see Mary. And Mary was also the lookout person for the police before they came up to them. So that was her job as well. So there's no police around. So Mary's standing there, and the family see Mary, and they're like, oh, my gosh, she's so beautiful. And then her mom puts on the act and tells them how their money was stolen. They don't have any money. They haven't eaten. But really, they've been on the streets forever, but they don't know that. So she made it seem like it just happened. So they came up big. I think they made like $40, $60. The family is like, okay, now go feed your daughter and make sure she go home. She shouldn't be out here. It's getting late, and they not knowing that she ain't got no home to go to. So they get the money. They go. Her mom takes Mary to go eat. They eat at some restaurant. There's a lot of stuff going on at that restaurant, but you can read the book, get that part. So they finally make it to her mom's house after her grandmother hasn't seen Mary since 3. So, of course, they reminisce. They're happy to see each other. I'm sure it was a lot of hugging and probably crying and all that with the daughter and granddaughter Mary. So the grandmother takes Mary into this pink room that she called it. And I do believe Mary might have stayed there when she was there. So they go into the room, and they have their granddaughter catch-up moment, and they're talking, and Mary's sharing, and, kids, sometimes they share too much, and they do it innocently. So while they were catching up, I don't know if her grandmother said it or she said it, but she mentioned some man that has been in their life. Now, while she's talking, mind you, the mother is hearing the whole conversation in a whole other room. As she's sharing, her grandmother is kind of like listening very well, and she's like asking her questions because she's kind of concerned, like, who's this man? And she was like, well, has he done anything to you? And then she was like, no, he's always been nice. So they continue sharing. And then her grandmother says to her, I have something for you, man, and I want you to keep it close to you. So when you're not with me, that you always know that I'm with you and I love you. And also I want you to know that God is always with you. So usually, I'll say for me and some other kids, I'm sure, as soon as you get a coin purse, you'd be like, oh, wow, it's money in here. Okay. Well, that wasn't the case for Mary. But even with that, Mary wasn't even thinking about that, I don't think. It was just that she got something for her grandmother, and she loved her grandmother dearly, so it was, like, special to her. So it was a little coin purse with little rubies on it. Yep.
I just wanted to add that I can say that we can assume that Mary didn't even know the value of money like that. So that wasn't even a thought. Because if she grew up on the streets with her mother panhandling, that's just like a person that's rich and then all of a sudden they lose everything and they feel like they can't even live anymore. If we ourselves, we're not wealthy people financially. We might be wealthy in other areas, but we're not wealthy financially. So if we lose something, we're not going to want to commit suicide. We might be disappointed. We might even be a little sad, but we're trying to commit suicide. So I'm just saying, I'm using that as a comparison to, what was her name? Mary, for, her grandmother giving her a coin purse was more valuable than any dollar because she didn't know the value of money anyway.
Yeah, so thank you.
You know, it was like she didn't even know money. All she know is when she gonna get something to eat, when she gonna have a safe place to sleep, when she gonna see her granny. You know what I'm saying? That was like heaven to her. You know, her grandmother giving her the coin purse was like, you know, like $1 million to her versus what somebody else would have thought. Because I know I would have been probably looking for some coins in there. But for her, because of how she was brought up, she wasn't thinking about no money. Right. And she might have seen a few dollars, but not that much to where it's that important.
Right.
So I just want
to. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was important to say. So we're basically summarizing this. Like I said, go get the book. So moving on. So she gives her the coin purse. And what was in the coin purse was a scripture. And I can't remember the scripture right now, but it was very valuable to her and her grandmother. And she just wanted her to know, keep this coin purse with you. And whenever you get lonely or anything, you could think about, you know that I'm with you and know that God is with you. And Mary kept that coin purse so close to her all the way throughout, you know, if I remember correctly. Once she gave it to her, she kept it. Okay, so moving on, Mary goes to sleep. Her mom, now time done went by now. Her mom comes in and puts her hand on her mouth and tells her don't scream, and she's like, we got to go. Mary, you know, had a fruitful conversation with her grandmother and knows that her grandmother wants them to stay and that they could stay. So Mary's kind of like, why do we have to leave? Granny wants us to stay. No one want to stay. Her mother was like, let's go. So they leave, and Mary was kind of used to that anyway. So they leave, and when they leave, her mother tells her that she has to, remember I said earlier, she has to pay a debt to someone. So she was telling Mary that she has to go pay a debt, and after this it'll be over. So she goes to the house. I guess it was her pimp. I don't know what to call him, him and his wife, and he's not happy that she's late. And because he got to get his money, and his customers are not happy. So she gets there, she apologizes, she lets them know, okay, this is my kid here. You want me to go handle your business, then you got to watch my kid. The man was like, no, I ain't watching your kid. Then time went by as they discussed. He ended up changing his mind and realized, oh, I'll keep her, because he had other thoughts in his mind, to the point where when he was talking, it was kind of frightening Mary, because he was like, oh, yeah, she's so beautiful. I know what we can do with her.
Can I say something briefly?
Yeah.
Well, I think that the man seen the value in Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was a pimp, or he had the characteristics of one. I don't know if he was a part-time pimp, whatever the case may be. You know, they got the kind of pimps that they're making money off of the prostitutes, and they got the ones that they pimping you to support their habit. You know, so it just, you know, that's neither here nor there. However, he saw the value in Mary in regards to how he can make some money off of her. He may even, you know, seen, you know, how he can even test the waters first. But the case, but whatever the case may be, initially when he realized that he had a gold mine. He felt like he did anyway. In that moment, that's what you can assume based on, you know, what you're going to share with us. So go ahead.
Yes. And then, so when he was talking, he came to the realization, you know, Mary's standing there, and she's like going behind her mother, like she's scared, like, please, Mom, don't leave me here. And then Mary, her mother, lets him know, don't be talking to my daughter like that. You know, I got to go do a job for you. I just want you to watch her. So he had a wife. She was drunk all the time. So the responsibility was going to be on her, and she over there complaining. Okay. So anyway, Mary and her mother goes into the room, and she gets her ready for bed. And while she's getting dressed, because she was going to go meet her pimp or her next gig or whatever. So Mary was kind of used to that already. So she would tell her, you know, I got to go to work, and I'll be back in the morning. You know how we do. and she was like scared. I'm like, no, I don't want to stay here, but she was able to comfort her and let her know I'll be back. So she leaves. Mary is able to see her out the window, and she meets her, John or whoever he was, her client. So they had a few choice words. At first, he wasn't like really feeling her, but he was, I guess. And then he like looked at her again, and then he gave her a price. And Mary's mom was like, I want this price. So they were kind of like negotiating. And they finally came to an understanding of a price. And within that price, he said, if I pay you that, you will have to do whatever I ask, or any other men, whatever they ask, with no questions asked. And can you do it for 3 days? It was supposed to just be for a night, but now it done went for 3 days. So they made an agreement. Mary's mom walked back in the house, let Mary know that she would have to leave tomorrow, and she'll be gone for 3 days. And after these 3 days, she could pay her debt to this man, and they can go live with their grandmother and, build a better life. Okay. So Mary gets dressed and tells Mary goodbye. And then she also reminds the wife, or because I don't think the man was there yet, or he left or came back, whatever. But she wakes her up because she's drunk, let her know that she's leaving, and there's cereal for Mary and all that. So Mary's mom leaves, and then the man comes back, and they decide that they're going to leave. So they pack up their stuff and they leave. So it goes back to what Ms. Mary said. Remember, like, he was hesitant at first, but then when he realized how Mary can be a benefit to him, they packed up their stuff and they left. Mary's mother comes back, because they don't give us all the details of what happened, but basically she comes back to get her child and pay her debt, and we don't know if she paid beforehand or whatever, but she comes back to get Mary, and they're gone. She don't know where they're at, can't find them. And then in the book, it just leads us to believe that really messed her up. She was already on drugs and dealing with some things, but when she came back and they took her child, it really messed her up, and she ended up overdosing. And that is where we're going to stop. Yep.
I know we're at the end, but really quick, I just want to say that usually in those type of cases, the pimp is going to be taken care of. He's not going to leave without getting paid. So he probably got paid in advance, and that's why he disappeared. However, we can move on to the story. We're at the end of our show. So we hope that you can stay on this journey with us with Karen Kingsbury novel called Divine. And we will see you next week. DJ, do you have anything else you want to say? We're at the very end of our season.
It's DJ Dika time, music time. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to let Miss Vicky finish the movie. Here we go.
Make peace, not war.
The same place, same time, next week. Here we go.
It was war about a week ago. They shot my man, I was with him about a week ago. In my city, round the city, we should stop that. Keep losing, trying to win with the get back. Don't you see where that gets us? Who's cooler? There's a body, there's a shooter. There's a man without a future, now his homies out to get ya. And the cycle just continues if we only just remember that we stronger together. We was made here to give, we was made here to love, we was made here to live. Yeah, we stronger together. We was made here to give, we was made here to love, we was made here to live. Now get your money, get success, and live a good life. Need to put the guns down and get your mind right. Get your money, get success, and live a good life. You need to put the guns down and get your mind